All right, guys, so you actually read the title to the video right. This is going to be an air condition diagnosis video, but I was sent to ThinkDiag 2 for an evaluation. So I'm going to show you what comes in the box, which is what you see right here. And I'm also going to be using it to help me diagnose. I have an air condition issue, and my complaint is that when the car, when it's cool outside, it blows cold air. And when it's hot outside, it starts blowing warmer air. So I'm pretty much, I think I already know what it is, but I got some gauges behind me. I'm going to use the ThinkDiag 2 to show what exactly is the computer thinking versus the actual analog gauges. And before we move on, I'll just show you really quick. You get this nice little cord here, comes in a box, so you can see this right here. This right gives you a little bit more accessibility to different DLC ports, and you also get this hard case that comes with it that's deep enough to put this in it and wrap the cord up and set it right on top of it, and then you can close it up and zip it up just like that. So with that said, let's go ahead and get this thing inside of the car, and I'll tell you a little bit more about what's going on next. All right, so when you get this unit, obviously, if you know anything about a car, you're just going to take this right here, find your DLC port, and you're just going to plug that right in like so. You should see lights indicating that you are getting some communication that's connected to the vehicle. Then it has power when you see the red, green, and blue lights. So let's get in the car real quick. I'm going to tell you what's going on and just give you a little rundown of what's exactly happening here. So right now, it's about 87 degrees in my garage, okay? Start the car up. Now, my air condition is on full blast. Okay, it's on full blast, and the air right now, because it's not say 95 degrees, it's probably blowing out at probably about 70 degrees, and it's on low. Because look at this right here. When I hit temperature, it's on the lowest setting. Because if you go up any higher, let's say 61, and low should probably make your air conditioning go probably to about 45 degrees Fahrenheit, or maybe closer to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And actually, this is what it does. Now, what will happen is that I drove it this morning, and the evaporator temperature was reading at 44 degrees with 130 PSI on the high side. That should give you a clue, if you're familiar with air conditioners already, what possibly might be happening. But let me go ahead and get out. I'm gonna turn the car back off. And and another thing is that, again, let me recap that one really quick time, make sure I explain that correctly. When it's cold outside or cool outside, it blows nice cold air. As it gets hotter, the AC air gets hotter. Now don't forget, pressure in an air conditioning system is dependent on the ambient temperatures outside of the car as well. So with that said, let's turn this off. Let me go ahead and I already got the gauges connected. Let's go ahead and turn the gauges on. This is the first step to the diagnosis here. All right, so we got our gauges hooked up here. As you can see, this high side gauge right here is going directly to the high side, which is right here, and it's connected. And then when you get these gauges, I mean, they only can go on one side, so there's no pretty much no doing this wrong. My low side is coming through this line here, and I had to take off my air box to run it through here because I physically can't get my hand in there. And I don't know if you can see, I got the low side down there, but I am able to close the low side with my hands. So let me go ahead. First of all, I got to close. See this right here, make sure these are closed. I know I opened these earlier, so let me go ahead and close these, make sure that they're closed, and make sure that the blue side is closed as well. All right, so now, when you put these up here, for example, now you just turn this right here to open it. Let's go ahead and open that puppy, and we should see, as I open it, you look at the gauge right here, it's on 0. Let's go ahead and open that up, and you should see the pressure just increase on that. So okay, we got some pressure on the high side. Okay. Now the low side, I am able to stick my hand down behind this firewall here and cut it around to be able just enough to spin this low side to turn it to open it up. Let's see if that actually works. It should be good enough right there. Let's see. All right, so we got both sides working now. Nothing is running. We're just checking just the pressure and ambient temperature. They both are around 100, maybe just slightly above 100 PSI. Okay, fine. They should be around the same PSI. Now take a look at the ambient temperature. I don't know if you can see that in my garage here. It's about, I don't know if you can see that because of the glass. Yeah, it's about 88 degrees. So according to my table here, I'll pop that up on the screen now. At 88 degrees, we'll just say above 50% humidity, because humidity is usually pretty high around here. The high side should be around 212 to 258 PSI. You know, when, not now, but when the system is actually running. Okay, so what we're gonna do, let's go ahead inside and now turn the car and come back and take a look at these gauges here. We're also gonna activate the scan tool to verify that everything is working. All right, guys, so I'm inside of the car. Wow, let me shut my door because this ding is. All right, so I just cut the car on first. So what I want to do is just get my ThinkDiag just connected to the system just to see what some readings are before I actually turn the car on and take a look. Go ahead and do our VIN decoding. And once that happens, we're not going to run a system scan. We're just going to go straight into the module, the HVAC module. And we're going to take a look. What I want to look at is the evaporator temperature sensor, and I want to look at the high side temperature. So that's going to help us, you know, with the gauges to make a diagnosis and a call on this car. All right, looks like we're getting somewhere. All right, let's go to system selection. We're going to scroll down to the bottom here to remote heater and air condition control module. We got a dual zone here, and we're gonna go to data stream. There's a lot of data here you can read if your blender actuators are messing up, or if you just need to read actual mechanical data pairs. But we want to go into sensors here. Okay, so we're interested. There's a lot of sensors here you can read in the car that, you know, in terms of what you may need to help you diagnose as an air condition. But the two I'm interested in is the evaporator temperature and the high side pressure sensor. And hit OK. Right now, this says about 111, and that's what we saw outside. Now take a look, my evaporator temperature. Let's go ahead and cut this on first, and let's take a look what the evaporator temperature is. 93 degrees right now, and I've been running the AC all morning. So, and that's kind of bizarre. Let's go ahead and cut the car on really quick. All right, so the AC is on full blast. And let's see what the high side does. Okay, so the high side is going up. We're at 86 degrees right now, 84 degrees. Don't forget, we're on low here now. You see us right here, we're on low. 61 is the next step up. When we hit low, that's like making it go down low as it can go. And I'm assuming in the 40s because, again, when it gets cold out, when the air is cool, first thing in the morning, the evaporator temperature goes down to about 42, 44 degrees. Now, with 160 PSI, and this is the typical air, what you see right now, between about 75 degrees. And this is on low. We can let this sit right here and run long as it wants. It's never gonna get any colder. Even if you drove it right now with this temperature outside, which is 86 degrees Fahrenheit, it's not gonna get any colder than this. It made it fluctuate a little bit, but it's not really gonna get any colder. So now, let's go take a look, because what we wanna do, first of all, see do the high sides agree, because the high side has a pressure sensor, and for example, if it's not reading, if the computer is seeing a bad number because the sensor is wrong, well, that means that it'll make the compressor engage and disengage and cause something to happen to the system. Okay, got 170, about 170, 180 degrees. And we look up here at the pressure, that's about what we're seeing. We see some fluctuations here. Let's take a look at the compressor is running down there. I guess you can see it down at the bottom. I'm gonna try to zoom in on it a little bit, but it's hard to do with this light on my way. But you see it's down at the bottom moving. And so what happens is that, let me get back here. And what happens is that you see this number here fluctuate. This number right here is above 50. This number should be between about 35 and 45. And sometimes this number here actually go up pretty high to be around 90. And this number right here will come down. And that one thing to not forget, don't forget, this PSI at this ambient temperature that's in my garage for the high side should be over 200 PSI. This number right here for the low side is higher than what I think is normal, because again, 35 to 45, it should be around 35-ish to 40. What I think is happening here is that the expansion valve is bad. It's not completely bad, but it's bad enough to where like it can't withstand the pressure. Because for example, when it's cold, what I didn't show you is also when it's cold outside, the high side pressure only gets up to about 130, 140 PSI. So that means that basically the expansion valve is able to withstand the pressure from the high side, so it can just let the high temperature refrigerant go through a smaller orifice inside of the expansion valve, so it can mist out more low side gas. So therefore it will cool down the evaporator more, exchange heat, and therefore the evaporator temperature will go down and it'll be much colder inside of the cabin air compartment. So based on this, what I see here with the ThinkDiag 2, that my pressures match here and here. Based on that, this number right here is too high and this number here is too low. My diagnosis for this car here is that the expansion valve needs to be replaced. Now, I've already got an expansion valve right here. I kind of figured this was the case here, so I got one right here. Let's see here, official GM. So that's the part number. If you've never seen the expansion valve, I'll just quickly show you what they look like. They just look like this. If you look on the fire, they're usually located on the firewall in your car. So that's what it looks like. This kit comes with everything you need, all the extra new screws, new washers and everything you need. So next, my next step here is I'm gonna get an evacuation machine. I'm gonna recover the refrigerant from the car. I'm gonna replace that expansion valve. And it might be one of the very few times that I'll go to a shop, because I may want the shop to put the exact amount of refrigerant in it instead of guessing. So that way the air conditioning system, according to these pressures, will become more within our optimal range. With that said, I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you got anything that might help me out that you know about air conditioners, please post it out in the comment. I'm still gonna go a little bit further with this diagnosis, and if I come up with something, I'll make a follow-up video. But for right now, my official diagnosis is it needs an expansion valve replacement, and that's it. So take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.